What's up guys, my name is Tom, welcome back to another video. Today here for more F1 2020 news about my career mode and the Schumacher DLC. I know that I'm recording this just 2 days after that this interview with Lee Matter gone out on the Red Bull website. I want to apologize because now in terms of time I'm a little bit tight despite being at home is because of university and all that stuff. So I want to apologize, but I really want that you guys watch the whole video. It will mean a lot to me. Because I know that you've seen more videos from other YouTubers, but I want to give my opinion, my perspective about these new features that we've seen in this interview with with Lima. Here we are on the Red Bull site, and Codemaster Stock Car Circuit and new features of F1 2020. You already know that. In the second paragraph, it says we speak with Codemasters Lee Matter, game director. Okay, actually the game director. So I was forgetting of F1 2020 to find out more about the staggering amounts of new content on the latest addition to the long-running series, including the tremendous new mode, My Team Career Mode. Now we have here a bunch of questions asking about the new features of this new concept of career mode, so I'm going to read and then give my opinion about these new features, what can happen, what I want, what I don't want, you know, the things that what I think, my point of perspective. So what you can tell us about the new My Team Career Mode: for the first time Codemaster series of F1 titles, we're giving the player the chance to enter in their team into the Formula 1 World Championship. Players will have to manage both a running of team and produce results on track. So we already do that on the traditional career mode, so we have to drive well to make good results. The good results are the repetition with the team and the R&D points for development of the car, which is not going to be the only thing that we have to invest in our team. We're going to talk about that later. As with any F1 team, the player will be responsible for all the partners need to run the team. So here is like the traditional career mode, but now we are responsible for everything. What I want to say with that, in the traditional career mode we have the R&D tree. We are responsible as well for what I want to invest. I want to invest in the aero, the chassis, the engine, and the reliability of the car. But now we have to manage the staff, which is going to be a key factor if we want to have a reliable department. These range from those which impact on the pure performance to the partners who work to get the best sponsorship and media deals, to be responsible for driver and staff training. So that's what I'm talking about. It's not just the staff. It's going to influence the sponsors, which are going to give you money to invest in the car, but you have to give them good results to keep the contract alive. And you have to manage the staff, so I want to hire someone that is really experienced, but the consequence of that is going to have to result in a much higher salary. But I can spend less money, and but the guy that is going to work for me is going to be a guy that doesn't have that much experience, and mistakes can happen, and the upgrades for the car are more probable to fail, you know. So we have to find that balance in the staff, and all of that is going to be managed by us, me and you. We have to be really rational when it comes to this. Engaging with the new driver market and picking the most lucrative sponsors will also play a crucial part in creating a successful team. Not to mention the development of the car, and now you manage the team's time between races via the new season timeline. So we have a new word here, that is driver market, which it was expected we're going to choose a Formula 1 or Formula 2 driver. It was announced that we're going to have Formula 2 drivers in our team, but in terms of drivers transfers, if for example I want Jack Aitken on Williams, I don't know if that can happen in this game, or F2 drivers are going to F1 just for via my team. In other words, the only way that the F2 drivers can get into Formula 1 is by my team and not from other teams, for example Mick Schumacher going to Ferrari. And about this new season timeline, I don't know what it's talking about. I want to say that the new season timeline is going to be the quantity of races that we're going to have. We're going to have a new format of the calendar. We can have the option of 22 races, 16 or 10. So I want to say that this is the timeline, but I'm not entirely sure if it is. Tell me on the comments what you think about this new season timeline. Maybe I'm saying something wrong and I can give wrong information, so make sure to say in the comments what's wrong, and we all can have a better information. So second question, what does driver manager experience working in my team, and what does it mean for the players? It brings an entirely new experience to our F1 series, giving players a very different way to go about winning a world championship. You want to put a strong performance on track, but you don't take care of the second driver and help to improve your circle to become the Constructors Championship. So Constructors Championship, I should say. So, for example, I have Lewis Hamilton. For example, the best driver that we have in the game, the best AI that we have in the game. If I don't train him, it can be like, instead of a second and third place, for example, if my team becomes a World Championship winning team, it can be way down the order because I'm not training. I believe that the training here is maybe gym and the simulator and psychological training as well. And this can have a huge impact who's working with us. As the team boss, you're no longer the commodity in the driver market, and it's your teammate and all the other drivers in both Formula 1 and Formula 2. So it was I wanted to say. You're not just F1 drivers that can be in your team, it can be Formula 2 drivers. And for my career mode, obviously that I'm going to choose Formula 2 drivers. I want a younger driver in my side. Another primary consideration is going to be the funding and expenditure. So I don't know what this means, but I won't say this is about money because it has the word funding. Expenditure, I don't know what they want to say. My English is not the best, it's not my native language, but we have to have in consideration funding. I want to say that we have to be very careful how we're going to spend our money, and that's what I really want. If I screw something up, I want very tough consequences. For example, we're going to have a huge drop in pace, which I think is the worst thing that can happen in an F1 team nowadays. It was always like this. Here I can see what I want. I want this my team career mode, something that is very hard, where if I do a wrong decision, I'm going to have tough consequences. And yeah, by the looks of it in this interview, this can happen very probably. You might want a high profile driver and have to cash to hire them, but they won't stick around if you can't provide the level of facilities they expect as a championship winning team. So I'm going to give an example of Sebastian Vettel. Sebastian Vettel, for example, is on Ferrari because he wants to win the championship with Ferrari. So I bring him to my team and I say, okay, we can win the championship with my team, but the car has only potential to finish in P5 and P6, let's be honest. And Vettel doesn't want that, and we lose Vettel. But if I say to him, my team is not capable of winning the championship by now, but we are in the midfield, and he says, okay, I'm not going to stick with you unless you give me more money, which is a thing that I am absolutely sure that it has to work in the game. If a top winning driver is going to the midfield, that team has to give him more money, because what he wants is win the championship, and money is one of the strongest factors in this sport. So obviously in my first season I'm not going to choose Verstappen or Hamilton or Vettel, because that would be impossible, because my team is going to be the slowest one by far, I'm expecting, and the most viable option is going to be one of the cheapest ones, and one is not expecting big results. For example, an F2 driver, which is what I want. Any beginning tips for my team? My team is a vast work very differently to the traditional career which players are used to playing. Rather than spending everything upgrading on the car, you need to look at investing in the team for a long run. Yes, that's what I want, because like I said, I want this to be a long process of 3 full seasons, and yeah, well, he's investing for team for long run. Long run, it says everything, so it's going to be a long process. As the last thing you want is to have a shutdown a facility to save on spending, and here we have the tough consequences that I'm talking about. For example, I make a bad decision and I'm forced to close, for example, in the aero department, the wind tunnel. This is going to be huge in a negative way to the aero department, because the aero test in my factory, for example, it's a factory. Are not going to be that accurate, and is more easy to the upgrades fail. It's just one example. And the less extreme case, instead of shut down the facility, fire some staff to save some money. Also pay attention to the tutorials and very helpful cars. So Carl confirm, which I don't like Carl personally. I prefer Chris from F1 2016 and 17, but yeah, Carl is going to be back. We'll talk you through some of the new elements as you set up and start and run your team. Lastly, take time to create a cool visual for your team, set up a strong color scheme, and striking a new team badge and make the team yours. So here we're talking about the new customization, which is not a new thing we can say, because we already have the cool visual to our team. Because of the multiplayer car, a strong color scheme, and with a striking team badge. So we're going to have to choose a badge which we already had in career mode when it appears the results, but now probably we're going to have that badge on the car, and I really hope that this can work on F1 modding, because I want my logo on the car, that my team logo is going to be the logo of my channel, obviously. If not, we're going to have badges that probably are ugly, are just made for Codemasters, we can't customize them, and I really hope that the badges are customizable. if it's moddable, great, but for consoles they are going to be really conditioned because yeah, we can't mod things on consoles, and that's why I prefer PC over consoles. What are the new additions to career mode? What do you think are the most interesting inclusions? As I'm sure people will recall, another new driver moves into F1 2019. With the new inclusion of my team and driver marker, we brought similar system to the driver career. As part of the driver marker, we will competing with all other drivers around. You get the best seat as you can at the best price. We also made some adjustments on how of the R&D system works, and that's the thing that I really want in the R&D, is that R&D system changes, but it makes things more hard, because in 2 seasons I can make Williams the fastest car, and that's not that realistic. So I think the R&D system is too easy at the moment. I'm gonna give an example of my F1 2019 career mode, Toro Rosso. It was my first team in my first season, and I was the third lowest team, and at the end of the season I was the best by far, still with a little bit of gap to Red Bull, but in the space of a season I overtook 4 teams, which is not realistic at all, let's be honest. Formula 1, nothing is easy. Now we're going to a part that I really like of this game. How will the 3 customizable season lengths impact players? We've been always conscious that not everyone who plays the game is massively time rich, so taking part in an entire season while also doing full race weekends is a very time consuming. To give players more chance and flexibility in how they play their seasons, they can choose to a 22, 16 or 10 race season. And this is going to be so good for me, because I don't want to do, for example, Abu Dhabi, France, which are tracks that don't provide that good racing. And now we can customize our season, which is absolutely bonkers. If I want to start the season in Bahrain, like in the past few years, I can do that. And the finale can be in Melbourne, for example. Then here he's talking about the 2-player split screen. I'm not going to read the whole answer, but I'm going to read just a paragraph to you guys see what I want to talk about. We also wanted at the time it's to inclusion along with some of the new accessibility options, in other words, new assists. We added to the game this year, such as steering assist, automatic reset to track, and simplified off-track surfaces. Combining those along with the split screen allow players of all skill levels to race together and have fun. So when I read this simplified off-track surfaces, this means that the tracks are going to be more easier to drive. So I know that he's talking about just off-track surfaces, but are the curves are going to be less lethal? If I go to the grass, it's going to be more easy to come back to the track, is what they are trying to say. I don't want really that. I hope that it's an option on the assist that it says off-track assists on or off. I really hope that it's that. But once again, I understand that Cody's want to make the game easy because they want to catch 2 more casual players, so it's not much of a bigger surprise. And then the 2 questions are about the Schumacher Deluxe Edition. They don't offer much details, they just talk about the cars. But yeah, new things about the career mode. This news came out of nowhere. It was just a random interview that Red Bull put on their site, and yeah, we were catch all by surprise. But really interesting to see, because in the last analysis video and the first analysis video, my thoughts on the My Team career mode, I was thinking, I said that I wanted the career mode out, that would be a long process, so things are going to be hard if you want, but if you want things easy, you can do that. And it's good to see that this game is going to be really flexible. Like I said, it's going to be a game changer. So be ready, 10th of July, the game is going to be out. If you buy it now, you will have a 3-day early access. And F1 career mode, I think, is going to be out on Sunday probably, so stay tuned for that. And guys, once again, thank you so much for watching. If you are still here, it's because yeah, I don't have much time. I know that I'm home at the moment, we are out, but I have classes, I have university, I have things to do, and things are not that simple. Just staying at home, I have more time, it's not that true. Making videos require a lot of time, so I hope you guys understand. And I'm going to finish the career mode as soon as possible for the F1 and F2 career mode, because F1 2020 is coming and I'm really excited, and it's going to be a banger of a game. So make sure to smash like, subscribe, and if new to see plenty more Formula 1 content, F1 2020 news and F1 career mode content. It really motivates me to make more. But follow me on social media, and I'll see you guys for a brand new video next time. But for now, it's goodbye.